Hello, my people. Sandra Graves right here. Yes, with a little bit of noise, but it's all good. We are in a world that is full of noise, but it's our job to be able to manage that noise with everything that we have done, with our amazingness and all that. And that's the reason why I bring to you Kasey Bass. Let me tell you a little bit about her. Okay, let me tell you just a little bit, and then we will have her fill in the blanks. Okay, but let me tell you something. With everything that I have read, I can summarize it as like this: a queen with muscle disguised as a princess. This is how I see her: body, brain, strength, perseverance. Oh. I have met many heroes in my life called single moms, but today I met a superhero. Okay. I have searched some stuff on the internet about her, seeing what she have experienced. And let me tell you something. This woman, let me come to this. It's just like ninja warrior, actor, writer, pottery, cancer survivor. Oh, tell me, what have she not overcome? So mom, single mom, one baby, two babies. This woman have five babies. Okay, and you complaining like, oh my baby, one baby, two baby, three baby girl. I know when she's going to sleep. One baby, two baby, three baby, four. She's like counting this just before she go to sleep, if she can go to sleep. Okay. But I have to tell you, I haven't talked much to her. I have just seen what she have done, read what she have done, follow some of her modeling things that she have done. And I can tell you that there's no word or needed, because life is about actions, not words. And you'll make sure that your work, your hard work shows what you have done. And we cannot tell ourselves, this is who I am because of my work, but your work shows what is inside of you, your determination, your perseverance. And that's the reason why I want to introduce you to Kasey Bass today, because I just think she is awfully amazing, like awfully amazing. So please, Kasey, tell us more about you, so that, because I can talk forever, okay, forever. And especially with somebody like you, I can just not stop ever. So tell us a little bit more about you based on everything that I have not filled in. Let's start this conversation.
Of course. Okay, so I have 5 kids. The oldest is 9. She's my adopted baby. And the first night when I brought her home, I found out that I was pregnant with my second child, because I did IVF and was doing adoption at the same time. And everyone was saying that both of those things, everyone was saying both of those things are really hard to do and unlikely to happen. And then suddenly my whole family just fell.
And we got to pause, but it's all good. It's called the internet. It's called the internet, okay? So while she is paused, I am going to go ahead and read you a little bit about her. And Kasey Bass is a single mom of 5 kids under the age of 10. She's an English professor and an athletic skydiver, aerial acrobat, circus, aerialist, and ninja competitor. She competes on season 13 of American Ninja Warrior, and she is currently on her way to compete in the National Ninja League World Championship. So that is the situation. She just dropped off the call, but as we wait for her to get back in, I will continue to tell you about Kasey. So in the meantime, oh, she is back. And you are on mute.
There we go.
Okay, good. It's called the internet. So, you know, while you were gone, I went ahead and read a little bit of your bio. So I got all the way up to she competed on the season 13 of American Ninja Warrior, and then all the way to the National Ninja League World Championship. So that's as much as I have told. So you know I can talk. I fill in the spaces that was there. So now you can continue.
That's quite a bit. All right, I'll give you the background. So I'm currently, the reason I'm in a coffee shop is I'm en route with my 5 miracle babies on the way to the National Ninja League World Championship in New Jersey. And it's my first year competing in ninja competitions. And so to be able to be on American Ninja Warrior and then to be able to compete in 2 world competitions is amazing. I'm doing the UNAA World Competition in Las Vegas a month from now. So I'm honored. It's been such an amazing experience. I've gotten to work with amazing people. I trained with Sam San. So even though they didn't, my run was not on the season 13 episodes so far. If you look at episode 1, I'm on his sideline. So that's so much fun to actually, be able to compete with and train with people that you respect and have a lot of fun working with. And I've worked with Josh Salinas more recently, and that's been great too. So I love it. My kids do everything I do. I'm also a circus aerialist. And I do lyra and silks and trapeze, of course. And I think those things translate really well with ninja. And so I've really enjoyed being able to do both. And then having had twins 3 years ago, your body gets pulled out of proportion. They were over 7 pounds each, and I was just giant. And so,
oh my goodness, that is just crazy. How do you do it? Like, how do you manage being a single mom on all the stuff that you're doing? Like, you have a whole list of stuff that you are doing, and you have 5 that you're dealing with. How do you do that? How do you manage your time?
So I made a decision. I thought about it, and I thought, okay, financially, I can't afford daycare and babysitting for the full length of time it would take to train and to do all of the things I want to do. So I bring them with me. And that was the best decision I could make, because now they think it's normal to be at a circus. Like, seeing people walk on stilts is normal to them. And the older ones train with me. So they do circus aerial class with a teacher at the same time that I'm training on my own. And we're all together in the gym at the same time. Same thing with ninja. They do ninja while I'm doing ninja. And so they've been a part of this life. I skydive, and I do indoor skydiving, so aerial acrobatics. And I take them to iFly, and they're learning how to do indoor skydiving too. All 5 of them are able to do that. And so that was the decision. And I thought at first I was scared because, I thought, how do you train and watch little ones at the same time? But I realized you train them too, that, hey, if we're going to have this amazing life together, but it means we have to work together as a team, and you can't run away from where I can see you. Same rules apply. I need to take care of everybody, but I want you to do this thing with me, and it's so much fun, and let's do it together. And so that's what we've been doing. And that's how it for them, they don't think it's that cool that mommy was on TV or that mommy is doing this or that. They want to do it themselves.
Yeah.
And I love that. I think that's amazing. So that's how that's turned out for us, is that I get to kind of inspire different paths for them. And I don't push them. They don't have to like ninja stuff. It's okay. But they just, so far they have. So they're planning to apply for the American Ninja Warrior Junior show when they get old enough here in a few years. And they're around, the winners of American Ninja Warrior are in our gyms all the time, and they're talking with them, and they just think that's normal to know all of those people. And it's not. It's actually really amazing.
How is it that you handle the criticism? Because I know there will be lots of people, oh, she's just been selfish. Oh, how can she do that? How do you handle all that?
Yeah, well, I realized that in the old days, I think before we saw childcare the way we do now, you would take your child with you. Your child would be on your back, your child would be on your front, your child would be with you, a part of your life. And I felt like we got away from that. And I think when we did, and we just kind of laser focused on the child, I don't think that's best for my family. I think it's better to say, hey, you come with me, and we're going to go to the library, or we go to art museums. They do pottery with me because I have the ceramics business. They're learning how to do all of those things with me. And if they, like I said, it's okay. And they have other hobbies too, and it's fine.
I agree with you. I used to, when I was a single mom, we live in the library. all
Yes,
the time. My
that.
son was, he would pick up every free cassette tape that was there about, learning a language or, Reader Rabbit. I remember Reader Rabbit was one of the most popular one, and Reader Rabbit did not sponsor the show. Okay. I'm just telling you. But I used to take him to the library all the time because while I was studying to advance in my job as an engineer, UX, whatever, he was studying to be better. So I love what you said because a lot of people are like, oh, you should take them to daycare. Oh, you should do that. I said, when you become me, you can tell me what to do. At this point, it is me becoming a better me, and you are not involved. That's what I will let them know, right? And that's what it is. And that's why I think that you are my superhero because of that. You have to just take it and
Yes.
whatever people say, just throw it off. And they're only going to make you stronger, just like you are right now, my queen princess.
Thank you. And
You
all the time.
are.
I would love to train more. I would love to do this or that, but I also balance it with the needs of my kids. And I had a video that I put up recently where I went to the Ninja Gym to work on this certain kind of, it's called switch grip lache, where you swing on an obstacle to be able to grab another obstacle, but you have to do it with one hand one way and the other hand the other way. And I went for that, practice that, and then I realized actually they need my attention, and so I ended up lashing down to where they were, and we had a little tickle fight in the middle of the foam pit. And that's the kind of thing that I think it requires, that balance where you have to try to pay attention to people's needs but also yours. And I think if you forget that, then not only do you put the pressure on your child to somehow help you be who you wanted to be, and that's a ton of pressure for a kid to take. It's enough pressure for me to put that on myself. But then also, like, you don't get to live the life that you were dreaming of. And so now, we've had the biggest wind tunnel in the world is in Abu Dhabi, and they reached out to us recently and just said, hey, you should bring your kids here and skydive in the wind tunnel here. And I said, yes, we should. So
that is cool. Accomplishing your goals together, not just a one-side thing, because anything that you do and you succeed in is going to benefit them as well. So I think that is pretty cool. But how do you deal with because you're a single parent, but the dad is also involved, right? So how do you work with that?
Well, I talk with them ahead of time of saying, these are the activities that we would like to do. And I just wanted to let you know, and make sure that that's something that you approve of as well. Because I try to be respectful of his opinions and his, desires to be a good dad. And so we're on the same page about that. And so that's been fun to be able to, even though we're not, together, to be able to still, support the kids and the things that they care about. I started weapons training. I started fencing, just to kind of learn some of those moves so I can get into stunt work on film, because I do parkour, I do ninja, and I act and I model. And so I thought, it'd be nice to be able to do weapons too. And it turns out my 6-year-old son, that was his dream, to learn how to fence. And so he had a pirate birthday party there when he turned 6 just about a month ago. So yeah, it's really funny how sometimes the dreams that you think are crazy are actually theirs too.
I wish I could fast forward right now a button and see everything that's going to happen in your future with the kids and what they are going to become, because I already see ninjas showing up on the TV and all that you have created. I already can see them doing that. If not that, because I saw that you did the skydiving too.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And yeah. I did that. That was one of the best experiences ever in my life. And then I kept telling my son, you need to do skydiving. And he was like, okay. So I ended up buying him a ticket so that he can go skydiving right after his graduation. So I remember that. I'm like, okay, you need to do this before you have kids, because then people go, oh, I'm not going to do it because I have kids. I'm like, just go ahead and do it. So our job is to give them the best experiences. Exactly. That is our job. And while you are teaching them work ethics and everything that you are doing in order to achieve your goals, they are learning to do the same thing. So to the moms that are listening, to the single moms or single dads, tell us one of the challenges as a single mom that you face, and how is it that you deal with those?
Well, I'm having one right now. My babysitter is texting me, so I'm so sorry. I need to make sure my kids are okay really fast, and I'll be right back with
That's
you.
a good one.
Okay. I'm so sorry.
No problem.
Okay, they're fine. I'm sorry. My children hijacked my babysitter's phone and were sending crazy pictures to me. Everything's fine. Okay.
Okay, you see, that was real. Okay, that was real. So we can.
Children okay? No, they're dressed as cows because they figured out some app to make themselves look like cows. So it's fine. I would say the biggest challenge for me was getting over myself and getting over my thought of what my life was supposed to look like. And the best example of that was that I thought I had to live in a neighborhood house the way that I had with my ex-husband. And finally, about a year ago, I've been renting a house because I wasn't sure exactly where we would land, and I wasn't sure, school districts and where we wanted to be. I was trying to make those decisions, and she needed to sell the house because of some issues that it was just time for them to sell. So I needed to come up with a plan. And so I really thought about it. And I thought, why do I feel tied to this idea that I have to live in this neighborhood house that frankly is a stretch, and it's far away from my work, and they're not in the backyard all that much. It's hot where I live. And so I finally thought, I think I would rather live in an apartment, live in a place that we can have, some extra funds, a smaller place that we can actually afford to go on trips. I can afford to give them a different kind of life than what I could afford what I was doing. And so I moved us into a 2-bedroom apartment. And again, there's a lot of people that think that was not the right move with 5 kids. But I found a triple decker bunk bed, and they absolutely love it. And I love it because if they roll off the top, they roll in the middle, and then they're okay. And it has rails, it's safe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been fantastic because we live near the museums, we live near the zoo, the school district is great, and I have some extra funds now that I'm not paying what I was paying before. I can actually afford to go on adventures with them, and I can afford to pay for lessons for them for the ways that they wanted to grow. And so I think the financial and just the planning aspects of that were really hard, but the biggest part for me was mental, and the expectations I was having to somehow give them the same, make the life look the same as it did when I was married. And I finally realized I'm not. I have one salary.
Yes.
That's just the reality. And so how do I shape that reality into something that's a springboard for what we want? And that was exciting and empowering. And I stopped having weird expectations of myself. I got rid of so much stuff that we actually didn't want. And I don't have to clean it. I don't have to clean that stuff anymore. And I'm really happy with that.
I just love the way you explained that, because one of the things that I did notice is that a lot of single mom are trying to keep up with that, what you said, the payments. And one of the things that, I had a hard time because I went from apartment into a house because I didn't have a house. And I'm like, my kids have to have a house before, I had set myself an age and all that kind of stuff, right? But you went different. You had a house and you went into an apartment. I wanted them to experience what it is to have a house. So I went from an apartment into a house. And why am I saying this? If you are a single mom, don't get stuck at the position of the place. Focus, just like Kasey was saying, what is going to be best for you and your kids? How are you going to enjoy your journey better instead of being stuck stressing about the bills and, oh my goodness, we're going to stay in the street or whatever. If you can cut down on whatever it is that you're doing and have a better life, then do it. And that's what she is talking about. Don't focus on, oh my goodness, people are going to be like, oh, she's not living in a house or whatever. The whole point is take people out of your head and focus about what is important for you and your kids. Right, Kasey?
Exactly. And they will say that. They do say that. And I learned to just tune it out because I realized what we're building, not just for me, but what we are building with me and my kids, the team that we're building together is so much bigger than any of that. And we have each other. It doesn't matter where we live. It really doesn't. And so It's been fantastic. It's been a lot of freedom for me to just get over my own expectations, and so yeah, just get over myself has been the biggest challenge. And I'm not saying that I've accomplished it. I'm still working on it. It's a work in progress.
That's good. So you said something about hope. With everything that's going on right now, how would you define for single parents to have hope?
Yeah, so I'm a cancer survivor, and married my high school sweetheart. Obviously, that didn't work out as I had expected, and so in any of those
It
circumstances,
never does as work out the way we expect, right? So
exactly, yeah. But I think in any, I've had plenty of times where I felt devastated, and as I got older, I read some different books, and I listened to podcasts, and I learned, okay, so I'm upset because the vision of what I thought was supposed to happen is different from what is actually happening. So what's the problem? Is it the thing that's happening? It can be hard, and I'm not saying it's great, but is it really? Am I so upset because of the thing that's happening, or am I so upset because I had the wrong expectation of what life is supposed to look like? And it ends up being the second one most of the time for me. And I realize if I change my expectation, and I realize, oh yeah, people get sick, and so let's take that challenge. Let's deal with it. Find the best doctors that I can afford, that I can deal with, do the best treatments, do what they say, try to take care of myself and make decisions for my health and my activity, my food, and be as healthy as I possibly can be. I can control that. And as soon as I put the ball back in my court, then I feel great because I have hope, because I have action. I know what to do to protect myself and to build up the life that I want. Same thing with my ex-husband. When that marriage didn't work out, was I devastated? Of course. Yeah, we had children, of course. And I went through a lot of dark days as I was trying to grapple with the difference between the expectation versus the reality. But once I accepted that reality, I thought, what a blessing it is to not be married if the situation was not healthy, right? What a blessing to clear out any toxicity in your life and to actually build something beautiful. Like that's a blessing. And as soon as I realized that, I was really happy, because I thought, now this is not the end of something. I mean, it is the end of something, but it is also the beginning of something.
that's right.
And the beginning of something even better than I could have even imagined. And that's the life I've lived in the last year, where I've gotten to model, runway print. I've gotten to be on American Ninja Warrior. Now I'm competing, and hopefully I'll start performing with the circus at some point soon when we're all ready for that. And competing with aerial acrobatics. I'm working on my A license for skydiving. And then I'm also a professor, and I love what I do. I love working with my students, and I love writing the ceramics business. And all of that's just because I finally thought, oh, well, okay, so things didn't look like that, but they can look like this.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So what kind of cancer did you have?
I had thyroid cancer. So I had my thyroid and had radioactive iodine. Actually had 2 doses because I had a recurrence, but I've been healthy and it's been fine. But that's why it was hard for me to get pregnant. That's why I adopted and did IVF. And so again, if it wasn't for the dark days of that diagnosis, I would family I have now. I would not probably have adopted or done IVF, because a baby would have fallen in my lap, and it would have been totally easy. And it wasn't. And because of that struggle, I have the beautiful family I have now. So yeah, once I realized that struggle gives birth to something amazing, then you can kind of hang on when things feel dark and think, I don't know what's coming, but it might be amazing. So I'm just going to take a deep breath and wait for that.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So what do you teach? You say you're a professor. What do you teach?
I'm an English professor. So I teach the intro to writing, college writing, and research writing, and then British Lit is my main research area. So I'm teaching a British Lit class right now that goes Beowulf up to the 1700s. So that is just awesome. That is just awesome. There's so much that you're doing. But with that said, there is a quote that Kasey wrote that I read, and it said, tomorrow may be awful. Yes, most of you complain how awful it might be. But she says, so all we have is today. Let's make it amazing. I just love that. It sounds very simple, and that's what it's supposed to be. We just try to complicate things
based on whatever we have. But the whole idea is to just enjoy the journey. And when we decide to enjoy the journey, that's when it gets better. I remember just like 2 years ago, a year ago, I could not get out of my bed. I was in so much pain and all of that. Guess what? I'm still in pain. I still have a hard time, and I'm smiling more than before because I realize that it's just about my attitude. Whatever is it that I'm going to do with my attitude is going to make my life better or it's going to make my life worse. So that's what it is. Does the pain go away? No. Did the challenges disappear? No. Do I have lots of challenges? Yes. But guess what? I am more grateful. I'm more hopeful. And the next one, I am more empowered. So Kasey, tell us more about that empowerment part.
So I love that, and I live by that. I live by that, not just year by year, but like minute by minute. And I've got twin 3-year-olds now. They just turned 3, and we're potty training. And they're boy-girl twins, and the female is just like me, just hot of adventurous spirit. And I love that about her, but also it's challenging. And so I had this moment not too long ago in the Fuddruckers bathroom where I'm changing diapers, and my 3-year-old son has a complete blowout, and I'm trying to change his diaper, and meanwhile she's trying to run out of the bathroom into Fuddruckers, and I'm by myself, and I can tell the older kids, hey, I need you to stay here, and they'll do it. But she just turned 3. She's gonna do what she. And so I have my foot on the end of her pants so that she can't run away from me and get grabbed by some random person in the middle of Fuddruckers. Meanwhile, I'm trying to change this blowout, and I'm about to cry because my body hurts. My knees are on the floor of this Fuddruckers bathroom. It's gross. It's not pleasant. And then I realized this is a moment. It's not a great moment, but it's one moment. And after we'll have more fun, and it will be okay. And I think that we just remember that in the big things, little things, that yeah, this is a moment, and it feels really hard because I can't see the next thing, but I know it will come. I know it will be there. I think that changes everything. I tell my students this story. I say, whatever it is that you're afraid of, don't act on fear. Whatever it is, don't act on fear, act on hope, act on trust, know yourself. You handled a hard thing before, you can handle whatever hard thing comes next. Trust yourself. And it can be scary if it's a relationship, it's a job, or whatever it is, whatever change you're making, it can feel like you're just stepping off a cliff because you can't see what's next. We can't see the future. But if you cling to a thing that doesn't work or that's bad for you, then that's something that's going to be, that can be even worse. So instead, trust yourself and build something. Think about what you know and build based on logic, based on belief in yourself. And so I think that method works on the big things and the Fuddrucker blowouts.
That was some great words. I'm definitely going to be putting that part on Instagram for sure. But I wanted to show you this, and everybody can you see that? Oh. That's me and my daughter. That girl has been a headache. Okay, especially during her teenage years. She made me cry. She made it so challenging, and I will not take away that experience for anything, because she is very loving. She is strong. She's all of that. So why am I saying this? Parents, not because your kids are little, it means that it ends there. Through life, you are going to have to stand firm. You are going to have to be hopeful. You are going to have to be empowered, because things are going to happen. Your challenges are going to be there. And while Kasey is gone again, I will continue to talk. So your challenges are going to be there, but whatever life throws at you, you have to be ready to handle it. And just be grateful, be faithful, be thankful. That's all you have to do, and be persevering. So keep persevering, keep holding on, because no matter what age your kids get to, if you don't have a good attitude about life, you will be destroyed. And we are all conquerors, but the conquering part comes with your attitude. Your attitude is what's going to take you very far. And that's the reason why I share that with about my daughter, because no kid is going to be perfect, just like there are no perfect parents. If there were, all of us would be perfect, and there wouldn't be any fun, any challenge, any great experiences, no journey, no vision, no mission, right? So that's what it's all about, right? So one of the last things that Kasey wanted to talk to us about is our belief. Kasey?
Yeah, about belief. Yeah, I think I think it segues from that conversation really, really well, and I appreciate that you shared that about your daughter. Obviously, our kids are worth it, and we're worth it too. And that belief in them and belief in ourselves they go hand in hand. Because your kid, this is what I found. My kids, it enables them to believe in themselves when they see me do something hard and scary. And I try to be honest and vulnerable with them and say, okay, mommy's hangry right now. I need to eat something, and then I'll feel better. Like even about the little things, like this is a feeling I'm having, and I see this is why I'm having this feeling, and I'm going to respond to it, and then I'll be okay. But also the big things, like when I went on American Ninja Warrior, it was so exciting, but also a little scary. And every time I do a ninja competition, so usually there are obstacles I've never done before. Usually, you practice what you can, but every gym is different, and every competition is built to be challenging. And so often they're really innovative things that they think of that we've never done before. And so I tell my kids that story, that I don't go into the competitions knowing that I know exactly what I'm going to do. I have no idea. And it surprises me as much as anyone if it goes well. Because you think I have these skills and I'm going to keep working on those skills. But also, who knows, you could have a misstep, you could, anything could happen. So you just do your best all the time and just have fun with it. Because if it's not fun, it's not worth doing. And so I've seen that in my kids, that when we changed schools, when I moved us to the apartment, suddenly they were in a brand new environment. And I think part of their flourishing is the fact that they realized it was okay to be scared. It was okay not to know what to expect. It was okay to just take each day as it comes, each obstacle, each moment, and just enjoy it and do the best you can. And that's what we get. That's the best that we can, is just kind of max out each moment. And and that belief in yourself enables you to really fly and do things you never thought you could do. That's the little things, step by step.
That's right. It's okay to be scared. I like that. It's okay to be scared. And a lot of people are trying to run away from that part, but life is scary. It can be very scary, but we got to face it. And just like what you said, we're not going to always know what's coming. So we have to mentally be ready to take on whatever comes my way. Hey, I will cry if I have to cry, but I'm going to keep going, because don't get me wrong. When the thing get tough, I shed my tears and I go like this and like this, and I keep running. I keep giving it the best that I can until I get to where I want to go. So that's what I really admire about you. Thank you for that amazing smile of yours. Thank you for your energy, your positive attitude, your strength. And like I said, you are my queen with muscle, trying to pose as a princess, because princesses are usually, fragile and all that, but there's nothing fragile about you. And that's the reason why I say princess. I saw your pictures, your modeling pictures, and I'm like, oh, what a princess. But this is a queen with muscle. So that's how I see you. A queen with muscle disguised as a princess. Don't forget
I love that. So honored.
Whenever you feel in challenge, and whenever you feel, because there will be some difficult days, and am I making the right decision? Maybe people were right, maybe whatever. All of those things are going to come to your head. Take it, roll it up in your hand, and throw it in the garbage. Okay? Just hold on to the one up there. Keep focusing and know that it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. Just keep pushing, and whatever you do, just like you're doing, just keep doing it with them. That's the most important part. Some people, they put their kids somewhere until they achieve what they want, and that's not going to work out. So I'm so happy and so proud of you that you are actually doing it with them together. And don't get me wrong, in the future, they're going to have something to complain about. because every kid does. Doesn't matter what. I'm telling you, I'm 51 years old and I know they always have something to complain about. But just be ready to always be a better version of Kasey and be thankful and just keep changing and keep becoming a better person and make no excuses for your past. Just keep moving forward with your present and embrace it because that's who you are. You cannot fix whatever you did in the back. Just focus on everything that you can do right now and just keep being better and better and better. And I am going to be following you. I am looking forward to seeing more and more of you and all the TV station and everything. And I'm going to be screaming, "Go Kasey! Go Kasey!" I'm going to be screaming like that because yes,
Everything.
you are just amazing. I definitely do. So where can we follow you? Tell the people where they can follow you.
So I've got 2 Instagram sites. One is Portal Fitness Texas, PortalFitnessTX, because I live in Texas. And that's my ninja site, basically ninja circus aerials and then aerial acrobatics. And then my modeling site is Kasey_Bass, KASEY_BASS2.
Is that the one that I send you a message? Okay.
Exactly.
So I am going to put that link to her Instagram at the bottom of this message, and then you guys can find out all the other links to her other pages and read her story and all of that stuff that I found clicking on all of the things.
Well, thank you, my kids. They're pretty amazing.
Yes, well, they have an amazing mom. So hey, all they got to do is pattern that. That's the mold already created. All they have to do is copy it. That's it. And of course, you're a pottery designer. Come on, you do pottery, an amazing pottery too. Like I saw that, I'm like, what? What is this woman is crazy? Right?
I have so much fun. That was one quick story. We were in the middle of lockdown with COVID, and I was just not doing great with homeschooling. I will admit it. I did my best, but I had days where I just failed miserably because I'm changing diapers and trying to do Zoom calls, and it was just a giant mess. I said, let's just stop and let's make some pots. And so we just went outside and just got dirty in clay. And so, yeah, that being completely dirty in clay is my happy place. That's how I deal with stress sometimes.
Well, I just started painting, and that's what I started doing now. I got canvas because during the COVID time, there was like a lot of expensive cheap canvases and all kind of stuff. So I started painting, and now my wall is full of paintings all over the place. So that's what I'm saying. It's like people say, I don't know what to do. Just find something to do. There's always something to do. I mean, you don't have to do it forever. Just do it while you can until you move on to the next thing. And that's why I get bored really fast, like really fast. I don't know if I'm ADD, PPP, ADHD, whatever it is that I am, but I get bored really fast. So I always have to change. But now that I'm teaching, so when you say you're a professor, I'm like, oh, I'm teaching. Right now, I am so in love with all my students. So we have so much in common that when I'm like, oh, she's teaching, oh, she did skydiving, oh, she's doing pottery. It was just amazing to follow all that. Every time that I read something about you, and I have my books that I wrote too. So it was good, like, oh, writer, oh, cool, right? So it every time that I read something about you, I just got more excited, and I didn't even know you.
Well, thank you. I consider myself a giant nerd with a lot of interests. So ninja is one of those, and there are a lot of other.
So yeah, so that is really, really awesome. But if you are a single mom or you are an expert in a particular area and you would like to talk to me, I mean, like, you got to put up with me first, like seriously, like I'm just like out there, right? But get in touch with me at info@singlemom.today. info@singlemom.today, because everybody have a story, and I want to hear your story. Not only me, everybody want to hear your story, because one thing that I tell my student, don't let anybody shut your voice. And the only way you can share your voice is by doing what you are passionate about, what you love to do, whatever. I mean, if you don't like it, you stop and you try something else, but that is your voice. Okay. So teach your kids how to share their voice and how to try new things, because Kasey said, it's okay to be afraid, but it's not okay to give in to your fear. Okay. So be scared. It's okay, but try it anyway. Okay. That is just the thing. Believe me, I try everything, even things that I should not have tried before. But that is another story for another video in another channel. But again, info at single mom. That I have so many emails and websites that I have to to think about it. Info at singlemom.today. Thank you so much, Kasey, for
Thank you so
being
much.
with
Such an
us.
honor to talk with you.
And I am going to keep you on my Instagram and make sure that I follow, because I want to make sure that you're going to get to, the TV, big screens and all that kind of stuff, right? So whatever I can help you with in the future, any shout outs that you need or anything like that, let me know. But I want to say to, what is her name here? Donna B. Thank you, Donna B, for connecting us together. She was the one who scheduled this. And you have done an amazing job. And I wanted to take the time to say just thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Kasey. Thank you, everybody. And
Have a
may all of you